Hello and welcome back to No Man's Sky with me, Caster. In this one, we are going to go through everything interiors in the Corvette. Now, the Voyager's update has brought customizable starships to the game, and they are absolutely unbelievable. And this one is actually a smaller Corvette that I created, which has turned into my favourite Corvette, and it even looks absolutely massive. Now, whilst you go around building out your exterior, and it looks all fancy and nice, it's really the interior, for me, where things start to come together very nicely indeed. It's important to note that the area that you use within your Corvette are the Habitation modules, if you didn't know already. There are three types. There is the Thunderbird, Titan and Ambassador style Habitation modules, and they each have their own specific style. And when you go and fit in a module into your utility modules, into your interior, they have different styles depending on which habitation unit you put them in. It's important to note that when you build your Corvette and you put your habitation modules down, you put them next to each other or on top of each other, they will create access hatches when they are next to each other, but you will need to put in a staircase if you put them on top of each other like this. That will give you access to and from. When you put your habitation modules next to each other, there are two doors on each one there, and there's actually one behind this mission radar. And note the aesthetic of the mission radar in this particular habitation module. If I press up on my D-pad and hit my mission radar here, go into edit and then move it, you can see there's actually a door. So I can block that up using these utility modules, which is great because it means that I can save on space, if you like, and put more items and more things in here. And that way I've got two doors which I can go through to get to either side of this particular Corvette. Also, one thing to note before we start building out interiors, this is actually easier, in my opinion, to go into first-person camera view mode. That way you can see more clearly where you are putting items down. So if I want to put in some sort of wall screen here, I can put it on the wall and I can make it easier to see what I'm doing and where I'm putting it. You do have to mess with the angles a little bit, but when you put it in there, it should be all good and should fit rather nicely, although there is a bit cut off there. But nonetheless, it's easier in first person to build whilst you're doing out your interiors. So it's important to remember that when you're building your Corvette at the very beginning and you're putting your hab modules down, that you consider where to put them and consider the best place to put them when you're building out your initial design. It can be quite difficult because sometimes you may go into building a Corvette with no design in mind. But if you do have one in mind, it makes it a lot easier when you are trying to build. Now, I've got all three of the hab module designs on display here. We are in the Titan one, I believe, in here, and we head into the Thunderbird one, into the back rooms here, and if we go upstairs, we head into the Ambassador one. If I can go up the stairs, please. It's easier said than done. And it looks like this. And notice the mission radar module there and the difference between this one and the first one. The aesthetics are pretty stark there in terms of difference. So the stairs, pretty important. Again, everything's found in your build menu. That is up on my Xbox controller here. And you'll see that we have different selections. We have the interior modules, which we'll come on to. We have deployable technology, which you can deploy within your Corvette. You have advanced technology, which includes your farming plants, some contaminant units, and some other things as well. There's even the teleport cables, and the weapon rack is here. And then we've got furnishing, so there's all these decoration parts. And then we've got decoration as well, lights including in that. There's also some nice strange parts which you can add to decorate out your Corvette to make it a lived-in Corvette. Then there's exotic decorations, of which I only have a crystallized drone. And then there are wall arts, and you've got all of the posters that you collect from the Quicksilver Merchant and or from the expeditions. So what do each of the modules do? Well, we've got a nutrition unit here. And the nutrition unit is basically like your nutrient processor, your portable one, or the one you find in your freighter. And if we go up to our nutrient processor here, you can access it and it also has access to the ingredient store. The ingredient store is the same one that you find if you use your portable nutrient processor or the nutrient processor you get on the freighter as well. It's all the same storage, so you can go in and have a look. I think it's also the same one for the exo skiff as well. And then of course you can put in whatever you like in here. We can put in items that are available to us to cook. This juicy grub will go into nourishing slime if we want to cook there, etc. There's also a recipe catalogue here in which I have some recipes I can look at so I can remember how to make cream, for example. We can view the recipe stats, etc. and then go from there. So very nice bit of equipment there. And it also looks very nice when you put it next to your bed, which is not functional, but nonetheless the bed is here, the crew berth. Which I like because it gives me some immersion into the game. This is sort of my living area next to the cockpit, and then we go into my living area with my mission radar. Now the mission radar essentially gives you missions to complete. So you do have the Quicksilver missions here, and I am of the belief that this is the same ones that you get in the Nexus, but I mean in terms of how many you get. You get one a day for the Quicksilver, the 400 Quicksilver. What I don't think you get here is the 1,800 Quicksilver you get for a weekend Quicksilver mission, which you can only get from the Nexus. Then you can complete these missions as well and get different rewards. So there's nanites to be rewarded, units, and even salvage data or starship fuel. There's Star Shield batteries here, which are quite useful. A carrier AI fragment, which is interesting. So definitely a load of missions to do in terms of the mission radar. I also have the refiner unit fitted down here into what I'm considering to be my cargo bay. And the refiner unit is like any other refiner unit in the game. It has 3 slots, so you can merge 3 different items. And of course, it will refine the items you want to be refined. Nice and simple. They're really good to have a refiner going whilst you're pulsing towards a planet. And, you know, you can refine a load of, I don't know, runaway mold to make nanites, for example. That would be a good way to use the refiner whilst you're travelling on autopilot to a new planet. I also have a living wall fitted here, which I put nip-nip buds in, so I can harvest these nip-nip buds. There's a bit of a glitch going on at the moment where you collect one and it collects all of them. And as you can see, they will regrow. So basically a nice little grower for your Corvette. And where are my nip-nip buds? We've gone straight into my freighter for some reason. But anyway, nonetheless, if we go into our build menu here and we go across to our advanced technology, we can actually farm all of these plants within our Corvette. But I actually think it's nice to have them as a bit of a decoration. That's why I picked the nip-nip buds, because yes, you can sell them for a lot of money, but also they look like proper plants, if you like. I mean, these plants are cool, but when I wanted it as a decoration, I thought it'd be really cool to have them here in the corner. The Medipod is also unfunctional, and this is the only one I don't have fitted into my Corvette, just because as it's unfunctional, didn't have enough space for it. I thought I'd leave this one out. Now here is the stairs, the almighty stairs you need to get up and down. They only cost 50 ferrite dust, and you can place these anywhere to get up to the next level of your habitation units should you stack them. There's also some windows here, but to have windows in your Corvette, it's probably better to build them when you're building the exterior of your Corvette, because you have to have a bit of space open on the side. My habitation modules are completely covered. You can see them under there. That's where my habitation modules are. And I can't fit any of the windows on because I've decided to cover them up. And what I'd really like is actually one on the top here, but you can't fit one on the top there. So there you go. Let's see if I can do that from the inside. No, you can't build them on the ceiling. I would like that, actually. If you could build them on the ceiling, that would be quite nice. Maybe something they bring in the future. And then we have the almighty storage. So I put my storage down in the cargo bay of my Corvette. And I've got the 4 storage hangers, storage containers here. Now if we click on into one, you can see that this storage container has all of this stuff in it. And this one has all of this stuff in it. So if I now go into my freighter, go across to my containers, you can see that actually these are the same storage containers as the ones you have in your freighter or on your base. So you're accessing the same materials, which is really cool. I'm really glad Hello Games put that into No Man's Sky all those years ago, and have continued to do so with the Corvette storage, because it just means you can access everything you have and everything that is available to you in your storage units, rather than having separate ones and having to go to separate ones, different planets, different freighters, whatever. It's all the same storage, which is great. And once you've decided what you want a part of your interior modules and utility modules or storage, whatever it is you want in there, you can then play around with all of the wonderful decorations and furnishings that you want. So I have gone for a completely lived-in freighter. As you can see, I put some boxes on here. There's even some of these hazard protections which will help you, first aid which will help you as well, maximum health at the moment of course. Nonetheless, I put them at the back there, and then I've added some lights, some radars or antennae. I've even added a server unit there. There's a sort of gas thing there, and then I've got an autophage guy here that I've robbed for parts, and next to the refiner unit there's a bloody wheelbarrow on a wheel, why not, some mixer and all sorts, some bugs heads that I've killed. There's a load of TVs here that I found on scrapped worlds, and then in the back here we've got a load of stuff that I've found, some boxes, some lockers, some weird pots and plants from archaeological sites, a nice seat there as well, and even some canisters, and this weird stabilized local boundary item, which I think is really cool. So as this is my back end of my cargo store. This is where I've sort of piled all the stuff that I found, and that's how I'm role playing the game. Now if I have a look in these storage containers, they will actually give me items. They'll just sit there and they'll give me items every now and then. I can't remember the rate at which they come out at. We've got 2 life support gels there, and we've got some other thing as well. I think it was Nip Nip, which is quite nice. And what I've done is just made it lived in. I put a lamp down here and things. I've just made it my own custom cargo unit, and then I've got the lived in space up here. I'm going to get a floating being to sit behind this desk, and I've got some things going on, some posters on the wall, Corvette posters and things, and I've got some music and a chair, and I've also got my weapons rack, which you can also put in here, where I've got my storage of certain multi-tools. I need to scrap these 2, and I've got the one that I use here, the Hand of Fire, and I put a table in here. There's some drinks going on, a car, I mean even a rug, why not put a rug in, and all sorts of different decorations. And you just go into your build menu, you pick what you want to put on. I can put this light on here if I really want to. Let's put it here, whatever. I'll take it off in a minute, but let's put it over here. And as you can see, we do have a light fixture there now. If I take it off, does it make it a less bright? It does make it less bright, so it does work a little bit. Normally you need wires and that in a normal base, but I suppose because this is a Corvette, you can just put it wherever you like. And then there's a bunch of decorations you can put in here, and I just think this just makes it so cool. It makes me want to stay in my Corvette and wander around, and there are lots of different things I can put in here. I mean, this crystallized drone is actually quite big. I've got no room for it really, but you can play around with all of these decorations that you have available to you. If you find that you don't have a lot of decorations or a lot of the items you want to put into your Corvette, if you come to the construction research station at the back of the Anomaly, you'll see here that they have all of the structures and roofing and things, and then they have the agricultural module, so where you'll get your plants if you don't know the recipes, and then they'll have all of the decorative modules that you can see here, and the decorative modules just go on and on and on, so you can make it whatever you please as long as you have the decoration modules or decorative modules. Some of the posters and things, somebody's given me a load of stuff for some reason, I don't know why, but I'll take it, I guess. That's what happens when you're in the Anomaly sometimes. You just get given things, so yeah. If you're ever in the Anomaly and you want things, just come and they might give you stuff. All of the items cost salvaged data. Normally, if I remember correctly, the decorative items all cost 1 salvage data each. So there you go guys, there is the ultimate guide to the Corvette Interiors. If there's anything I've missed, please do let me know down in the comments. If there's anything else you'd like to know, please do ask and I will do my best to tell you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you go in and customise the interiors of your Corvettes to your heart's content. And if you want to show me your Corvettes or the interiors of your Corvettes, please do by putting a post in the viewers post section on my channel. I'd really like to see them. I'd really like to see if there's any there that I would like to build as well. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Take care out there, and bye bye.